Under government school education, children start primary 1 at the age of 6. This left early childhood care and education outside government programs, placing it largely in the hands of the private sector. ECCD has thus been run exclusively by the private sector, making it unaffordable for some parents who want their children to access this stage of education. However, according to educationists and analysts, early childhood care and education is the critical foundation. Today, the State Minister for Primary Education, Joyce Kaduchu, announced that her ministry will launch the Early Child Care and Education Policy 2025, a landmark framework designed to ensure that all young children aged 0 to 6 years receive nurturing care, protection and early learning opportunities to reach their full potential. Kaduchu said the policy reflects a strong national commitment to investing in early years of life, which are critical for lifelong learning, health and productivity.
The ministry considers ECCE a critical investment in Uganda's human capital because the early years lay the foundation for children's learning, for their health, behavior, life skills, and overall development. Quality ECCE helps children to develop cognitive, psychomotor, and affective domains at the stage when these are formed most rapidly as a prerequisite for schooling and lifelong learning.
Since 2008, the government has made attempts to address concerns about the foundation of education. Among these efforts was the National Integrated Early Childhood Development Policy and Action Plan 2016-2021, which provided guidance on how the government should handle ECCD. According to Brighton Barugahali, Commissioner for Education Policy and Research at the Ministry of Education and Sports, until May 2024, there was no coherent policy fully addressing these concerns, leaving a gap. Under the new policy, the government intends to operate centers in underserved areas, going beyond its regulatory and training roles to support children aged 0 to 6 years who were previously excluded from programs.
Areas where it is not possible to attract private sector, government will directly go into provide ECCE services. And then we'll also fund them through affirmative interventions. But also government will also channel targeted subsidies to non-state providers who are willing to go in areas where there is a critical shortage.
The policy also plans to ban boarding facilities in these centers to ensure the safety and security of young children. Additionally, the ministry revealed that only professional caregivers will be allowed to work in these centers.
Government is introducing professionalization of ECCE teachers and caregivers. Until recently, this was a space where people say everybody could go. It is now going to be only professionals or qualified caregivers so that our children are in safe hands.
The Ministry of Education and Sports will oversee the licensing of all centers, and any center without a license will not be permitted to operate. Every child in these centers must be registered in the ministry's database.
Until recently, this policy, you would not get statistics and information about ECC in our systems because people were arguing this is purely private. This policy is making it mandatory that if you have ECCE, you will have to be in the system, and therefore they will be reporting on what happens and the statistics.
The government has also promised to regulate fees, transport and feeding services to maintain a conducive learning environment. According to Barugahari, the policy introduces uniform child safety protection standards that apply to both formal and non-formal centers.
Previously, people would start these centers. They are not accountable to anybody. They start their own thing. Now, if you start an ECC center, you will have to have a governance structure that can be accountable should things go wrong.
The policy also introduces national parenting programs to be designed, popularized and delivered through ECC centers and primary schools, recognizing parents as the first educators.
Previously, nobody was interested in the people who bring these children. The issue was on children, and the people who give the primary caregivers were left out. This policy is bringing them so that they can also benefit from the understanding of how they can take care beyond the center.
Barugahale revealed that the government plans to enhance the budget for early childhood care and education to implement the policy's provisions. Dorothy Najita, NTV Weekend Edition.